second conversation, like I said earlier, having Isaac Okorafor, who is the Director of Corporate Communication, join me right now. I think we should just take a break. When we return, I just had a problem with my audio. Let's quickly take a break. All right, welcome back. Like I said earlier, Isaac Okorafor is with me here. He's the Director of Corporate Communications Department at the Central Bank of Nigeria. It's another Wednesday, another CBN Weekly. Mr. Okorafor, good to have you on the program.
I'm always glad to be here, Nancy.
Thank you very much. What an eventful day.
Yeah.
I'll keep that to the end of the show. But an eventful time that you're on my program, I'll also keep that to the end of the program. October 1, 1960. I have been speaking about this at least since Monday. We've done a series, different topics, looked at the colonial economy to national economy. The second day we talked about the development plans. Today I looked at structural adjustment programs. That's, critical economic history along our journey. And part of this criticality is the central bank. The CBN, like I said, commenced operation a year before our independence.
Yes.
Speak to me about the independence and the central bank contribution, the central bank's contribution. But number one, also, give me your own view, because you're an independence baby.
Yeah.
His birthday is tomorrow. So these are the independence.
I thought you said you would give it to the end of the program.
No, there's something I'll keep to the end of the show. So October 1, 1960, you were born.
Yeah.
So you're 60 years.
I'll be 60 tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say right now.
I'm like 59.99 now. The way they put it.
Of course, so you were born on this very day we had independence.
Yeah.
What did your mom tell you?
Well, my parents told me that
I said, Mom,
okay.
Perhaps I'm biased.
Okay, don't worry. My mom actually told me that she started having labor pains the previous night. And between 5 and 6 a.m. I was delivered. And my dad had actually prepared to go to the district headquarters for the dance. There was this traditional dance, and they have stuffed their guns, Dane guns they used then when they dance, the dance of warriors. But when I was born, the guns they had stuffed, my dad started shooting them. And people were wondering, why is this one wasting the...
He didn't wait for independence.
Yes. And he told them that thing he had been expecting, because I was the first son, had come. I had 4 sisters ahead of me. And so that ended, his own celebration ended there. He didn't go for the dance again. He danced at home, so to say.
So while you were growing up, and perhaps the stories your parents told you about independence and all of that, how did you see the Nigerian, what did they tell you about the Nigerian economy prior to independence, during independence, to when you were born, perhaps to when you started school, you went to university? Nigerian youth to say, now enjoy the country.
Actually, much of the stories I heard when I was growing up, right from the day I was born, were political stories. Stories of Zik and Zikism. Indeed, my uncles out today still call me Zik. Some call me Zikism, because that was the in thing at that time. A little bit of the economy. There was also the impression that Eastern Nigeria was the land of palm oil and cocoa and cassava, and that our economy depended largely on that. And I grew up to come to that realization that palm produce was the source of almost all the infrastructure we had in eastern Nigeria, just as cocoa and cotton and others were for the western region and the northern region respectively, which really ties into the battle we are fighting now at the Central Bank of Nigeria, to ensure that we go back to those days when our people worked hard, produced added value and exported, and then used that to better the welfare of our people.
The integral thing now, which I said earlier, the central bank commenced operation a year before independence at 1959.
Yeah.
Chronicle for me between that time and now how the central bank has fared, because you have your mandate, you have your core values, legal advice. Did I say legal advisor? Advisor to the government.
Financial
You issue
advisor
yes, you issue the legal tender, monetary policies in your purview, fight inflation and all of that. Can you just tell me how the Apex Bank has fared? Because it's part of my own, analysis, looking at the CBN in 60 years. But central bank is 61.
Yes, I can say that, of course, the central bank, the law was passed in 1958, but we started operations in 1959, a year before independence. The CBN, I'm not being immodest when I say that the CBN is the most credible institution in this country today. And at the CBN, there is a culture of excellence and commitment to the national cause. No matter who takes over the reins of power, the CBN is always there for Nigeria. And at the CBN, we see Nigeria in a different light, in a very deep light, if I can use that. Everything about the CBN is about Nigeria. Even in the interaction between staff, nobody wants to know where you're coming from. All we know is that this is our cause, this is our mandate, we must be focused on it. And the Central Bank of Nigeria has actually done a great deal, right from the establishment of NDIC, NEXIM, so many other institutions. The CBN actually started as the Department of Agriculture and Finance. It started in the Ministry of Finance and moved on to its own. We had the Tinubu building, Tinubu Square building, and from there. There have been all shades of tendencies in the CBN, right from the time we were just focused on financing agriculture and financing government, into now that we have evolved into a developmental institution, whereby we have...
Which a lot of people are not happy about.
Yes, people, because they do not understand. The role of the central bank in any economy is dependent on the stage of development of that economy. If you tell me about the Federal Reserve System in the US or Bank of England, that is good for their country and their economy. For us, where there is still the problem of food, the problem of food hasn't been solved. And food makes up over 50% of the basket of commodities that lead us to price formation in this country. And you say the central bank should just concern itself with monetary and price stability and then fold its arms on other functions. Then you are saying that Nigerians should die of starvation and that inflation arising from unstable food prices should continue to soar. That is where the Central Bank of Nigeria is different. And since 2014, when Mr. Emefiele came in as governor, he made it clear on the 5th of June that this bank will be a people-focused central bank, and that we would delve into development financing to raise our people from poverty, to pull out our people out of unemployment, and to give hope to the ordinary, hardworking and ingenious Nigerians so that they can work themselves out of poverty. So that is precisely what the CBN is doing. Today we are running over 20 programs trying to direct finance to all these sectors and subsectors that need finance to contribute effectively to economic growth and development of the Nigerian economy. That's precisely how we have evolved. The greatest challenge this economy has today is that of growth and jobs. And you can see all our policies are directed towards growth and jobs.
The question also will be the sustainability, and if you talked about, you have about 20 programs.
Yeah.
Can you just speak to Nigerians about some of those programs, and especially as we fight COVID-19 pandemic? You're here because, of course, Nigeria will celebrate. We're already in a celebratory mood, though. 60, Nigeria at 60. The central bank is essential, an important element in the economic fabric of the country. How have you now been able, the 20 programs you said the CBN has, how has it changed the life of Nigerians? Is it changing, or is it just for a few?
Okay, let me just give you one example. Nancy, it takes at least a generation to change attitudes, to effectively transform, especially in consumption. Now let me just tell you this. In 2015 up to 2017, the CBN bent down and began to craft together a program to be able to enable Nigerian farmers regain their lost glory in production and in export, especially of food crops, rice, tomato, palm oil, cassava, wheat, and so many others. We launched, the president, we took the president to bring Kebbi to launch the Anchor Brewers program. The CBN plunged itself and its resources into that program. That program today has transformed the consumption pattern of Nigerians. In 3 years, it has been able to change drastically, if not completely, eliminated or reduced the consumption of foreign rice. You just walk into a supermarket today, you see all shades of Nigerian made rice, grown fresh and milled in Nigeria. It takes a generation to achieve that kind of transformation in other climes, but CBN has just done that in 3 years. It is continuing. Cotton is another thing. The textile, garment, and cotton subsector is undergoing another transformation. In palm produce, the economy is undergoing another transformation, and we, as CBN, I won't be able to say this after tomorrow. Well, I'm still part of CBN, even when I'm outside the building. The thing is that people do not understand where we are going, and we have tried to explain where we are going.
Do you think you have communicated well, or you are communicating
We
well?
have communicated well. Let me tell you why they have refused to understand. There is a very few persons. There are very few persons, a very tiny group of people who have been reaping illegally from our foreign exchange management systems. And these people have been locked out of the door this time. Mr. Mefele has so organized the foreign exchange management framework in such a way that you can hardly do the round tripping that used to be the order of the day before. And since then, since 2017, it has become very difficult for them to do that. Now, he introduced the 41 items, which have become 43 items today. And these items were those items that we could produce in Nigeria, but for which people were demanding foreign exchange, taking official foreign exchange to import. They include rice, tomato, maize, etc. Now, what has happened since then? We have moved the foreign exchange we used to spend on these goods into into machines, into essential raw materials that we cannot produce here. Look at Lagos. I've said it on this program before. If you go to Lagos from Oshodi to Apapa, from Antoni actually to Apapa, on both sides of the road, you used to see factories, textile, all kinds of factories. Today, those factories have been converted to warehouses. All the machines have been taken away to China or some other places. Why? Because the same group of people who used to produce these things have converted themselves into importers of foreign-made goods, including rice. Most Nigerian farmers, those who produce rice after the war and before the war, most of them have died out of frustration. Those who lived in the farm settlements producing palm oil, most of them have died. Their families scattered because of joblessness. They dump all these goods on Nigeria and cut down on the price, which is the worst, or smuggle the ones that they could through Benin and other neighbors, and they have decimated our farming population. That is what the CBN is trying to change, and we are succeeding. The battle that Mr. Emefiele is fighting, the battle that the CBN is fighting today, must be won. If it is not won, then this country is in trouble. I want to urge Nigerians to ensure that the things we used to do before, by shouting after that we go in and everybody comes back to what we used to do, and then the problems begin again, should be avoided now. They should queue behind the CBN and Mr. Emefiele so that we can for once ensure that we produce what we eat and eat what we produce. If we do not do that, when the AFCFTA, the African Continental Free Trade Area, comes on next January, Nigeria will continue to moan and groan. We will not be able to export, we will not be able to sell, we will be consuming what other African countries have produced.
You know, it's quite fundamental that you said that, because I even interviewed the Secretary General of African Continental Free Trade Area. He was in Nigeria last week.
Yes.
So he was on this show too last week also. And it's also quite instructive that we're going to be 60 tomorrow. AFCFTA will kick off January 2021. It would have kicked off July this year if not of COVID-19 pandemic. How primed are we, especially from the monetary angle? Of course, there will be a payment system and all of that. How primed are we from the Apex Bank angle? Yeah,
for us, we are prepared. Our monetary policy is geared towards keying into it. Our payment system is one of the most developed in the world. I can confidently say that. Our payment system is so well developed, and we are ready to key into that. Where we are afraid that we may have to work a bit harder is in production, is in the quality of the harvest that we get from our farmers, is in organizing our farmers in such a way and sensitizing them to the need to improve their yield and to also do their packaging so that we can export outside. And that is why the CBN is going to every nook and corner of this country to fund farmers. Food will be a very critical item of sale, of export, of import under the African Continental Free Trade Area. And if we do not hone our ability to produce enough food, we become dependent.
As we finalize this program, looking at this contribution of the central bank in our 60 years history as a nation, we've gone through a lot of things. We've had different legal tenders. We've changed the faces. We have paper, polymer. Yeah. We've had banking consolidation. At least the ones coming to my mind, I can't remember everything. Then we're having these developmental initiatives by the central bank on that. Which do you think strikes Nigerians the most in terms of the contribution of CBN?
I think the greatest contribution of the CBN, as we speak, is its ability to pull Nigeria out of the looming recession as part of the negative impact of COVID-19. Apart from the payment system development that we have transformed, the payment system has transformed so much that you don't need to go to your bank to make your withdrawals. You don't need to leave your bedroom to make payments and to receive payments.
Okay, what I said I was going to leave till the end is that I introduced Isaac Okorafor as the Director, Corporate Communications Department of the CBN. Today is his last day at work as the Director, Corporate Communications Department. I hope I have a drum. I don't have a drum, but I'll clap.
Thank you.
He's retiring. In fact, tomorrow is his birthday. Today is his last day as work as Director. Mr. Okorafor, thank you for your service.
Thank you, Nancy.
So,
you've been part of that service.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You're officially 60. The law says either 60 or 35 years in service.
That's true. Tomorrow tomorrow is supposed to be my last day, but because it's a public holiday, I am ending my service today. And I want to say a big thank you to God Almighty and to the Central Bank of Nigeria. Mr. Godwin Emefiele, who made me a director, I will remain indebted to him.
Are you going to miss?
And also other governors who have done, Professor Soludo, who actually brought me in there. And the former emir of Kano.
Sanusi Lamido.
Mohammed Sanusi II. I remain grateful to all of them. They gave me the opportunity of my life. And my 15 years in CBN has been the most intensive time of my life. And I'm happy that I've made this contribution to the success of our country.
Thank you for your service again. And I wish you well. A new face for you. You are retiring, but you are not tired.
Yeah.
We'll see, because the journey is still...
Thank you, Nancy.
It's a journey, isn't it?
And I thank you too for all the support all these years. You've been a backbone to us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, that's the much we can take. It shouldn't be an emotional one. Perhaps I should leave Mr. Okorafor to do the crying and the tears. I won't do that today. I'll see you all tomorrow, God willing. We will always commemorating, celebrating Nigeria at 60, just like the government says, Nigeria's at 60 together. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Don't forget that you can watch us, our great content on YouTube. Find us on our YouTube channel. I am Nnaji. Be safe. Thank you for watching our video. Please hit the subscribe button below, turn on post notification to follow all our updates.